Right now at 10, why parents in Oregon are upset with a new design plan at a popular sports park.
And hear from the attorney of a teenage boy at the center of a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against Madison and its police department.
Plus, what the city of Madison is doing to help make some of the most dangerous intersections safer for everyone.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. The Oregon Soccer Club is unsure of its future if a proposed $4 million sports complex goes through.
That topic brought up tonight at a board meeting. Amy Reed joins us now to explain why they hope the village reconsiders.
This project has been developing since 2016. There have been multiple versions of the plan, and the latest has only 2 fields that could be used for soccer. But with 900 kids in Oregon Soccer Club, the president of the club said that doesn't work.
There's only so many more days like this. Good fall weather for the kids to play.
It's definitely concerning.
Eric Anderson worries time may be shorter still as the Village of Oregon looks to convert J.C. Park West into a $4 million sports complex, cutting the number of soccer fields here from 9 to 0.
There is no definitive plan in place right now for a future home for this club that's been part of the community since 1978 and has grown by leaps and bounds, and provides a great service for kids growing up.
It wasn't always like this. In the years this plan has been in motion, there were versions of it that had 4 soccer fields, not ideal for a club that already fills this space.
So we wrote the village this letter, outlining those questions and concerns, and after that the plan changed quite a bit, and the soccer fields were no longer there.
Instead, new plans showed 2 shared fields for football, rugby, lacrosse, and soccer.
And then we went back to the village and we said, well, what's going on with the soccer fields? And they said, well, we took it from your letter that you no longer wanted to participate.
Now he's hoping the village board will change its mind. Not only does he not know if this new plan will allow them to continue play like this as usual, the annual tournament, the group's main fundraiser, won't continue as it is now, putting the future of scholarships and fees for the sport in question too. He gets the perks of new fields and better drainage. They're soggy even today, but he wants this to be a space for all kids. And under this plan, he says that's not what it is.
I think the biggest concern is where exactly the soccer fields will go. Where will the soccer players and teams go?
We asked multiple members of the village board to do an interview with us about this today, and they all said no. At a meeting tonight, they said they hope to put money toward more parks in the future that would give space for more fields.
For the first time today, we are hearing from the attorney representing the boy and his family involved in a $2.8 million lawsuit against the city of Madison. The attorney says he expects the city will deny their claim against them and is prepared to show the surveillance video to a jury to decide if Madison police officers used reasonable force as their internal investigation found.
And we have certain standards in this community that the police have to follow. While they have latitude, they also have license, and they have to act responsibly. If they don't act responsibly, they have to be held accountable.
Attorney Charlie Geeson said it is possible the family will settle before it ever reaches a jury, but that depends on what the city will offer.
Madison engineers said this week's dry forecast will help lower the city's lake levels. Lake Monona's levels have gone down slightly, a trend that is expected to continue through at least Thursday. They say Lake Mendota is cresting, and Dane County might have to increase the Tenney Dam's release rate as a result. Let's go to meteorologist Dana Fulton now with a look at our first alert forecast. Dana?
We are expecting this nice fall weather to just stay with us at least for a few days. We'll hold off on the showers until the end of the week. Today we officially hit a high of 66. It was a little above average, but very pleasant outside with the sunshine. A few clouds early this morning, so we only fell to the upper 40s for overnight lows. Doppler track will stay quiet tonight and for Tuesday. Temperatures upper 40s right now in Madison, but in the middle 60s around Black River Falls, close to 40 currently in Camp Douglas as well, and still holding on to 57 around Monroe. We have a calm breeze tonight. It'll stay that way stretching into tomorrow morning. These temps will fall through the 40s before we hop right back up into the 60s tomorrow with some sun. We'll take a closer look at that next chance for some rain in just a few minutes.
Grocery giant Kroger and Walgreens are joining other retailers in discontinuing the sale of e-cigarettes. Kroger, which also owns several brands, including Pick and Save, said it is discontinuing the sale of the product due to the mounting questions and increasingly complex regulatory environment. Walgreens said it made the decision as the CDC, FDA, and other health officials continue to examine the issue and health risks e-cigarettes present. General Electric is freezing the pension plans of about 20,000 U.S. employees starting in 2021. The company says the move is a way to reduce its pension deficit and trim debt. It will offer a lump sum payment option to 100,000 former employees who haven't started their monthly pension plan payments yet. GE's pension plan has been closed to new hires since 2012.
Former Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker will interview former Vice President Dick Cheney during a lecture at Beloit College later this week. That interview will take place on Thursday, October 10th from 7 to 8:15 p.m. at Eaton Chapel on campus. It is free and open to the public. 4 men are getting a chance at a new life after being pardoned by Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers today. Dr. Mwangi Vassar was one of them. At 19, he was arrested for selling cocaine. Now he's 40. He owns a barbershop and is an associate minister in Georgia. With his rights now restored, he is hoping to become a military chaplain. He presented Governor Evers with a plaque today to show his gratitude. Former President Jimmy Carter, just a day after taking a serious fall at his home, is back at it, helping build a home for Habitat for Humanity. The now 95-year-old returned to the Tennessee work site with a black eye, 14 stitches as well. President Carter and his 92-year-old wife, Rosalind, have volunteered with Habitat since the 1980s, helping to build affordable homes. Carter, now the longest-living former president in U.S. history.
Alex Trebek has suggested in a recent interview that his tenure as Jeopardy host may be nearing an end as he battles pancreatic cancer. The 79-year-old has hosted the show for 36 seasons, totaling nearly 8,000 episodes. Trebek revealed earlier this year that he was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Despite learning he was near remission in May, he needed to go for another round of chemotherapy in September. The U.S. Supreme Court is refusing to hear a case by the UW Alumni Research Foundation against Apple. The Alumni Foundation claimed the company used computer processor technology without permission in certain iPhones and iPads. Apple was first ordered to pay more than $500 million, but that was thrown out by an appeals court. Since the Supreme Court won't take up the case, that ruling will remain. A Missouri man has pleaded not guilty to tampering with a vehicle rented by 2 Wisconsin brothers who are missing and presumed dead. Prosecutors allege Garland Nelson abandoned a rental truck that Justin and Nick Demel of Shawano County were using to visit his farm. Human remains were found on Nelson's property at the end of July. Those still have not been identified.
You can meet HGTV's Property Brothers this week in the Milwaukee area. Jonathan and Drew Scott will be in town Thursday to celebrate the launch of their new collection at Kohl's stores. They'll be at the Kohl's on Appleton Avenue in Menominee Falls at 11 a.m. The public will be allowed to meet them, take photos on a first-come, first-served basis. After a 48-zip win over Kent State, the Badgers are now gearing up to return to Big Ten play against Michigan State this weekend. It is homecoming week. The UW Homecoming Committee is getting students into the spirit for the game with a variety of events and festivities scattered throughout the week, like tonight's Spirit Parade. More than 100 Badgers march to Badger-themed songs all across campus, starting at Dejope Residence Hall and ending at Union South.
Not a lot of schools have this much school spirit, and if you are going down State Street or anywhere on game day, you can just see the spirit that is happening with everybody.
The main UW Homecoming Parade is Friday, 6 o'clock, just off Gilman at State Street. You can find more about the upcoming events at our website, channel3000.com. Until ahead tonight, we're getting a better look at some of the most dangerous intersections in Madison, specifically for those on foot or on bicycles.
When we come back, what the city says is being done to make the road safer for everyone. Stay with us.
From 2011 to 2015, Dane County saw more than 1,300 vehicle crashes involving pedestrians or bicyclists, resulting in nearly 30 deaths. 80% of those crashes happened in Madison.
Madeline O'Neill takes a look at some of the most dangerous intersections in Madison for those on foot or bike and what's being done to make the roads safer for everyone.
They just barrel on and they don't stop. It's crazy.
UW-Madison student Sam Juleson spends a lot of time on these streets walking to class.
Yes, a lot, a whole lot.
But it just takes 1 second.
I'm scared, for one.
For everything to change.
I've almost been run over like 3 times on that intersection.
Juleson is talking about Orchard and Regent Streets, an intersection where Madison Police Department data shows a pedestrian was hit in 2016. By the numbers, over the past 5 years, other intersections near campus had some of the most car crashes involving bicyclists or pedestrians in the city, including many along University Avenue, like the one at North Randall here, which tops out at 20 crashes, most involving bikes since 2014.
This intersection right here where we're looking, the speed limit right up there is 25 miles an hour. I think maybe 5 or 6 cars of the couple hundred I've seen so far are going 25 miles an hour. Most people are going 30, 35, 40, some are higher.
A AAA report shows that if a car hits a pedestrian going 20 miles per hour, about 13% will die or suffer a severe injury. That rises to 40% at 30 miles an hour and about 75% at 40 miles an hour.
People are in a hurry, and I think they also don't understand that serious tragic consequences do result.
Traffic investigator Sam Breyer with the Madison Police Department looks into the causes of crashes to make the roads safer for everyone.
It's amazing to me how many people, at a minimum, don't even pay attention to the signals or the signs.
Breyer says it's not just on drivers.
If you stay here long enough, you'll see people crossing the street staring at their phone.
One suggestion he'd have for the city at intersections like this is delayed signaling, which allows pedestrians to cross before any cars get a green.
Fully visible before cars can even go anywhere.
City of Madison transportation officials say they're navigating the early stages of a data-driven strategy. This draft map shows the top 15 high-severity bike and pedestrian intersections in the city, including Stoughton Road and East Wash, along with Blossom Lane and East Buckeye Road. They're determined by going beyond crash frequency and weighing in factors like crash severity to then work on possible changes, such as lowering speed limits.
It'll be right in this multi-information display, and it will be red, and it'll be a block, and it'll say brake.
Changes inside the car can improve safety as well.
Then if I don't apply the brakes in time, the brake assist on the car will apply.
Smart Motors sales manager Justin Jackson says pedestrian and bicycle detection found in new vehicles like this Corolla can save lives by alerting drivers to brake, giving them precious time.
That couple few seconds that you have could really save somebody's life or even just save your car from being damaged.
Of course, the responsibility is still in the hands of the person holding the wheel.
This does not replace the driver.
Instead, Breyer encourages drivers to use a strategy that just takes a second to remember.
A little bit more attentiveness, a little bit lower speed, and a little bit more awareness of your surroundings. That's all it's going to take.
Especially when hitting someone sticks with you forever.
Please be aware of pedestrians and bikers. You're paying for it if you hit one of us.
In Madison, Madeline O'Neill, News 3 Now.
Breyer is currently investigating 2 hit-and-run cases.
And he wants to remind people that hitting someone, of course, is a mistake. It comes with a ticket, but fleeing the scene brings serious criminal charges. We'll have a map on our website showing some of the top crash sites for bicyclists and pedestrians.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now with a look at our forecast. More dry days ahead, please.
We have a few more, yes.
Okay.
Thankfully, we'll keep the sunshine and the dry weather around for just a little bit, but it's certainly starting to feel like fall outside and starting to look a little more like fall, too. That's certainly been a nice change of pace. Some counties already in peak fall color reports. That's, of course, according to travelwisconsin.com. In southern Wisconsin, we're still a little closer to that, about 25% of the color change. So we still have about another week and a half to 2 weeks before we really hit that peak mark. Doppler track is nice and quiet tonight. Nothing new moving on in. High pressure staying in control of that forecast throughout the plains and northern Midwest. So everyone's sitting in a really nice spot to enjoy the weather. A lot of folks, again, not just in southern Wisconsin, but stretching through Minnesota and Iowa, need a dry few stretch of days. That cold front that brought our showers on Saturday is now well off to the east, and our next chance for showers is a system brewing off towards Seattle right now, bringing some showers around Vancouver. It's going to steadily travel east and get towards us and closer to about Thursday evening and stay into Friday and Saturday. Overnight, we will be mostly clear for tomorrow. Plan on a mostly sunny sky. Should be actually pretty pleasant outside for tomorrow afternoon. Almost a repeat of our forecast for today. By Wednesday morning, temperatures not falling nearly as much. We'll be in the upper 40s for those overnight lows thanks to a southern breeze. And in the afternoon, we'll be in the upper 60s. Though our cloud coverage will increase a little bit on Wednesday, planning on a partly sunny sky. Our rain chance really arrives late in the day on Thursday. Becoming mostly cloudy on Thursday with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms picking up later on in the day, and those shower chances are going to stay with us into Friday. Notice where that wind is converging. That's where the cold front will be, and once it passes on Friday, our temps are just going to fall during the day. Overnight low temperatures tonight will be in the 40s. Tomorrow afternoon, really a repeat of today, mostly sunny and in the middle 60s for afternoon highs, only falling to the upper 40s by Wednesday morning, and then Wednesday afternoon expecting those high temperatures again in the upper 60s. So we stay just a little bit above average. Looking ahead to this weekend, as it does start to cool down, we are expecting our first chance for some patchy frost for Saturday and Sunday morning, which is right on cue. Our average first frost is right on October 11th. The latest first frost, November 12th, and I just don't think that we are going to be able to hold off quite that long. Overnight low of about 42 in Madison, mostly clear and just a little cool early in the day. Probably going to need the jacket early. Later in the afternoon, though, as long as you're in the sun, should be just fine at about 64 for those afternoons. Highs very pleasant outside, and we'll continue to see the sunshine and the drier weather for Wednesday. Wednesday, we're in the upper 60s. We'll stay in the upper 60s for Thursday, though Thursday, of course, is going to bring along the cloud coverage and the rain chances building in the afternoon and evening. By Friday, we're looking at scattered showers throughout the day. Our high temperature, though, a little deceiving. We're going to hit 61 actually pretty early in the day, and then temps will fall during the afternoon. By Saturday and Sunday morning, we're expecting our overnight lows to be in the middle to upper 30s. Around Black River Falls and the Dells, we could be seeing those temperatures falling closer to the lower 30s for early in the day. So patchy frost will be a concern for this weekend. Of course, Saturday in the middle 40s for those afternoon highs. It'll be cool outside with some shower chances. Sunday, thankfully, the sun does return, and that's going to stay with us into the start of the following work week. It does seem like we're going to have a nice stretch of some dry weather yet again heading into next week. But those temperatures are really trending downwards now.
That's one heck of a dip on the weekend.
A little bit of a dip, yes, for the weekend right now. And the frost concerns, of course, those overnight lows, that's something we'll be keeping an eye on, especially north of Madison.
Bundle up for that homecoming game.
That's going to be a cold game. Some ponchos might be necessary. Of course, no umbrellas allowed, but a nice insulated poncho, is that a thing?
Layers, right?
Layers is the best way to go for that one.
All right. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana. Jonathan Taylor, another award, and the Badger football team trying to stay focused now on what's ahead. The story coming up in sports.
News
The Badger football team figures to have a little tougher test this Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium. Michigan State is in town for a 2:30 start on BTN. It's going to be hard to improve, though, on last Saturday's 48-0 win over Kent State, especially the #1 ranked defense that had 9 sacks and allowed just 124 yards to the Golden Flashes. But Chris Orr says you can always improve.
Every week, it's always something that we could be better at. We rarely watch tape and say, like, oh, this is really good. You know, it's kind of self-explanatory. There's no need to, pat yourself on the back if you see something good going on. But we definitely have some things that we need to clean up, definitely some meat we left on the bone. There's some plays that we could have made. So we always, it's pretty much every week that we're like that. So we're getting closer, but we ain't there yet.
Big shocker, Jonathan Taylor, the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Week again, the 3rd time this season. He's tied the Wisconsin school record Saturday with 5 touchdowns against Kent State. He also passed Melvin Gordon into 3rd place in the Badgers' all-time rushing list. Ron Dane and Monte Ball still ahead of him. The Packers' next game is a week from tonight when they play the Detroit Lions at Lambeau Field on Monday Night Football. It'll be a battle for first place in the NFC North. Both teams have only 1 loss so far this season. It's probably time we give Packers head coach Matt LaFleur and his staff a lot of credit for hitting the ground running and getting the Packers off of that 4-1 start. Yesterday in the 34-24 win at Dallas, the Packers had a great game plan, and the players executed it beautifully.
You find out what your guys do well, and or maybe where a team is vulnerable that you're playing against, and you attack that. And but I just think that's part of coaching, that's part of game planning. But ultimately, you got to know your players, you got to know what they do well, and try to put them in position to have success.
Washington Redskins head coach Jay Gruden said last night, if I come in Monday and my key doesn't work, then I've been fired. Well, Gruden was called to the office at 5 a.m., and by 6 a.m., his key didn't work. He was fired. The Redskins are off to an 0-5 start. Former Badger assistant coach Bill Callahan is the Redskins' interim head coach. The National League champion St. Louis Cardinals had to win today to keep their season alive, and they did. Yadier Molina's sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 10th gave St. Louis a 5-4 win in Game 4 of the National League Division Series. That's all tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 is in Atlanta Wednesday. Also, the Rays beat the Astros, and tonight the Nationals beat the Dodgers. Our Prep Mania High School football game of the week, Middleton at Sun Prairie. It's the Cardinals against the Cardinals. Friday night, 7 o'clock, live on channel3000.com. And the Milwaukee Bucks begin their preseason tonight playing the Bulls in Chicago. Giannis, Middleton, and Bledsoe don't play, but Dante DiVincenzo does. He's healthy, hopes to contribute this season, hit a 3 there. And Wesley Matthews plays his first game with the Bucks. Matthews scores 10 points, 21 minutes of playing time. Final score is Bucks 122, Bulls 112. And we'll be right back.
Excessive use of the current field. I tell you the one thing that I'm sure Jim Borland's going to be looking at with the second.
I like this start to the week. You're starting to get a little of that crisp, cool autumn feel, but the sun sure was nice today as well.
The sun was fantastic, and I like starting the mornings off where having a hot cup of coffee feels good early in the day. So having temperatures in the 40s early on has been really nice, and then in the afternoon, of course, hopping up to the 60s has been a real treat for the last few days. And looking ahead to tomorrow, planning on a similar forecast to today, actually. We'll be close to 64 for this afternoon highs, with a mostly sunny sky. Wednesday, partly sunny in the upper 60s. We'll be in the upper 60s again on Thursday, though it's going to come along with a mostly cloudy sky and the chance for showers and thunderstorms developing late in the day. Scattered showers expected for Friday and Saturday, especially Saturday morning. And we'll be dropping off quite a bit with our temperatures heading into the weekend. Next week, though, looks like a nice dry stretch with pretty comfortable temperatures once we get through that rain chance.
All right, Dana, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.